Evening, everyone. Today I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna do something a bit difficult. I'm gonna do this. This is the Kern Leo shrimp. Very nice pattern. A pretty realistic pattern, but it's not the easiest to fly. So this video is probably gonna take a little while. And first of all, what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna take two partridge feathers. These are going to act as the mouth parts of the thorn of this shrimp, and I'm just going to cut out the middle part of this feather here, because then this thorn is not going to be as uniform or as boring as it would be if that part was still there. Tying this in, this is just to add some contrast to the bottom part of this fly, like that. Looks good. Cut it away. Take some STF dubbing in a tan or a light tan or a dark tan, whatever color variation you fancy, but something that is natural. You can of course tie this in pink, this pattern in pink as well. It's probably gonna be good as well, but for now I'm gonna do this kind of as realistic as can be. Just gonna turn this over. This is again just to add a bit of bulk to the tail part here, to give it some, like that. Maybe you should do like so. Yeah, that's better. And then I'm gonna take a few strands of fleshy blue ascent in the color tan. Also a very nice color for shrimp patterns. Not gonna take much. I'm gonna take 3 strands of this. Make sure that they are not even in length. Just gonna tie this on top here, just to add a bit of shine to the pattern, like so. Cut the rest off. If you want, you can take this and leave it on the side, so you'll have the stuff you need for another time. And then finally, to make this as realistic as possible, I'm gonna take 2 strands of tan super hair, just to make the long antennas, and I don't know how you say that in plural. Bear with me. That's not the hardest part of this fly. But just stick 2 of these on there. These can of course be left out. If you want to do it as realistic as possible, put them in. But when you fish this fly, these can be a bit of a bugger, because they tend to, just tangle with the hook point and the hook gape and stuff like that, like so. And just to make sure that this is exactly how I want it to be, I'm just going to take a small bundle more of the dubbing, of the STF dubbing. STF dubbing is a ridiculously cheap product that is enormously useful for all kind of sea trout patterns, or shrimp patterns. Not particularly sea trout patterns, but shrimp patterns. Just awesome, an awesome material, like so. And to give this the final touch, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a whiting spay rooster grizzly hackle, and we're going to use this to add the finishing touch of awesomeness to this part of the fly, like this. I'm gonna strip out all the fluffy parts down there. I'm gonna tie this in approximately there. This doesn't matter if exactly where you put this, because you can just force all the feather strands backwards with your thread later on. Gonna use approximately up to there, so I'm gonna just strip everything I don't need to where I don't need it, and to take my my hackle plier. And of course the sea of hackle pliers, if you don't have this and you're struggling with your hackle plier, get it. It's without a doubt the best product in the world. It's expensive, but it's worth every single buck, every single penny. It's just amazing. It's truly magnificent. Like so. Fasten the spay hackle. If you haven't tried tying with these spay feathers, I urge you to really to do so. Unfortunately, they're expensive, and the demand for these are great. So if you want some, get some while you can, because whiting tends to run out of these well, almost every year at this around the same time. So get some while you can if you want these. Like that, and then you can see now we have a good starting point for this fly. We have the antennas, we have a bit of flash, we have different materials that works under different lighting conditions, and well, basically that's the start of the fly. As I said, this is not going to be an easy tie, so brace yourselves. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take a bit more SLF dubbing. A bag of this is €2. €2 for a fairly good amount of dubbing. It's completely ridiculous, and it's a really great and useful dubbing, not only for saltwater flies, for shrimp patterns, but for almost anything. Like so, and then I'm gonna take one of these pretty awesome easy shrimp eyes. This is in fluorescent UV, so you can see it really lights up on UV light, but it also comes in black and in brown and in red. Here is the black one, and the good thing about this is there are two eyes on here, so you save some time, but also, if you can see this kind of this, I don't know what it's called, this flat base here where it's attached, has some dents in it, some bards in it, so when you tie the eyes down, you will never ever lose an eye. So you, from now on, if you use easy shrimp eyes, you will never have any more pirate shrimps. You know, pirate shrimps who has lost one eye to a rock or something like that. I used to have a lot of those in my box. The pirate shrimps are coming. It's late. I'm going a bit out of it. I'm sorry about that. But you will not have to deal with that problem anymore. And I must say, that product, the Easy Shrimp, really have made my life a hell of a lot easier. My fly tying life a hell of a lot easier. And as you can see, bam, and they are completely where you want them to be. So, moving on, I need to put a little more dubbing there, I think, behind the eyes, just a little. So I have a bit more to actually brush out when it's time to do that and finish the fly, like so. And here is the important thing. Now you need to tie your ribbing. When I did this video in Danish, I forgot the rib, so I had to do that. I had to add that later on, and that's not ideal. That's not optimal. But well, the other fly, the one I tied in the Danish video, actually turned out very well. So perhaps I should forget the rib. Here I'm just here I'm using 0.16, something like that, just fluorocarbon or whatever you have lying around. It's not very important what it is, as long as it's fairly thin, like that. So next up is all the goddamn legs, which is the bitch about this this fly pattern. Of course, it's all the legs. That's the hard part. Just gonna add some dubbing here, up to where I want my first pair of legs, which will be around here somewhere, something like that. And what you do is you take your round rubber rib, which is product looks like this. For this size fly, I use the small size, but but the medium for a size 4 is what I would recommend, and for a size 6, both the medium and the small can look good. And actually, the size 6 in, for instance, CS 54 from partridge, the size 6, which is the most used, I think, the most used size. It's very difficult to decide for me exactly if I'm gonna go the smaller or the large one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a knot on this. Just a regular wind knot, I would say. One like this. Pull it tight. Like so. And then you have this this thing that's going to be your leg. Okay, so do 8 of those. 6 for now. You're going to need some longer ones for later. But do at least 6 of those now, because you'll need 6 now. And I've cheated a bit, so I've done 6 already. And what you want to do is you want to attach these so it's approximately 1 centimeter long, something like that. Not a hell of a lot more than that. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's how you want it to be in when you tie it down, because otherwise it will never be how you want it to be. So make sure that when you tie this on there, it is facing the right way. And if you do that, then, well, you won't have as many troubles with this fly. As you probably can't see this, but what you want it to be is you want it to be in. I'm going to show you when I've done the other side. It's going to be around maybe a centimeter, maybe a centimeter and 3.3. Something like that. Not too long. It's going to be shorter than what you would actually guess, I would say. So make it a bit shorter than what you think it should be, and then you will have the correct length. Tie it down so it's. See, here I have the problem. This one didn't work out, so I have to move a bit backwards and do it again. And now it is messed up again, so I'm going to take it completely off and try to attach it all from scratch, because you really want these to be in the right place. Otherwise, as I said, they never will be. So this is the hard part. This is the tricky part, to get this right. And when you get this right, your fly will look like $1,000,000. Make sure also that they're aligned on approximately the same spot on your hook here. Like so. I'm gonna show you how it looks. So what you want to do is you want to have the legs sticking out. And these you want to have pointing a bit backwards, in the same angle, both of them, and pointing in the same direction. You can see on the full frame picture that is heading this video how exactly they are, but also in the end of this video, of course. So I'm gonna go back. I'm sorry I can't do this with the view from the top. Then I can't see what I'm doing. So like that, and then you're gonna do the thing that is crucial to this fly, and that is to actually use the next layer of dubbing. Use the layers of dubbing you're gonna apply. Use them to gently have your legs positioned in the right angle, and also facing the right way. You want these first legs to kind of point a little backwards, the second pair of legs to point kind of straight out from the body, and then the last legs you want them to point to be shorter and point slightly forward. So as you can see, I'm using dubbing here, and use more dubbing than what you would expect, because the more dubbing you use, the easier it is to get the legs positioned correctly, and also the better it is for when you're going to finish up this pattern, to have something to pull out to make your fly look more like the real thing. This leg is teasing me. It curves the wrong bloody way, man. That's annoying. Oh, it's better now. Like so, way better. Oh yeah, that's how it should be done. That's how it should be facing. Like so. And then on with the next layer, the next two legs. What I'm doing here is, as you can see here, I have made the part that is beneath the knee, or whatever you want to call it. I've made that fairly long, and the reason I've done so is then I can cut off as much as I want on a later point. I don't have calculated the exact length that I think I want, because later on it's going to be easier for me to then to adjust the length there and make sure it's going to be exactly the length that I want. The first one, and now I'm going to do the second one. I'm going to just make sure it has the right length. It matches up the length with the other leg. It does around there. I'm going to drag it where I want, and then all the shit brokers loose. Like so. Like so. Fastening it completely, taking some more dubbing to get it exactly where I want it to, get it right, get it positioned correctly. This is a killer, I know that, but and actually I've never fished this fly myself. But the man who has invented this fly and who uses this very much is a very solid, very avid, very cool. First of all, but also a very skilled fisherman. And from what I can see on his name is Kern Leo. Kern Leo Anderson, I think. And what I can see from his Facebook page and from what I've talked to him, he says this fly is unbeatable in the water. It really fishes well. And that's also kind of a major point to me, because I like to tie flies and I like to, do something that's hard and difficult for the sheer not experience. What is the word I'm looking for the sheer challenge. But I'm not gonna sit down and do like 5 of these. Well, actually, I have done 5 now because it's tricky and I needed to practice. But I'm not gonna sit down and do 5 of these for my fly box if this is not a fly that's proven and that definitely will catch some fish. And this guy who I really think is an authority on sea trout assures me that it really is. So it is difficult, but he says it gets easier with time. He is now down to tying. To takes him around 16 minutes to tie one of these, 17 minutes to tie one of these, which is a hell of a lot better than my time right now. So it gets easier, he says, and that I believe. Oh, now I can see that one of my legs here is too long, so I just need to go back a step or two and shorten it. And of course it was the right one. Oh, thank God for that. as I was saying, you want these legs to be shorter and shorter the further up the hook shank you get. So the first one is a bit longer, and then the last ones here is gonna be shorter to get the right effect. And also these last one needs to be pointing a bit forward to have the correct look. Like so. I think that is actually pretty damn good. I'm gonna show you. So now all my legs are positioned how I want them to be, and you can see the forward ones are pointing a bit forward, the middle one are just sticking out there, and the legs further behind is actually pointing a bit backwards, or at least they should now in theory. You can see it works pretty good. Good. Continuing. This takes a bit of time. I'm sorry about that, but well, the hardest part is over. The hardest part is over now. And I'm gonna take some more dubbing here, and just to get all the way up to the eye now. All the messing around with the legs is over now, and all the really hard part is actually done now. Like so. Need to make sure that it tapers, has the right tapering down effect down to the eye here. And then you're gonna take something for Carapace, and I'm gonna use something called circulating fiber. It's actually just EP fiber. It's not the original EP fiber, but it is exactly the same. I know that because I've had both brands in my hands. I'm just gonna tear up a bit of the dubbing here on the top side here to make it easier to get my carapace in place, like so. And this is in the color shrimp. It's exactly the same, only there is a bit of flesh material in this one. Tie this down. Not use too many turns with the thread. And then there is another trick which you need to do. Now you need to take a large strand of the round rib. You're gonna make another knot on it, like that, and then you're gonna take this, and this is gonna be the final pair of legs. And I'm gonna have this around. You can see the knot. It's about 1.5 centimeter behind the last eye, and there you're gonna attach it to the side here. Tie it down out on the side, and then you're gonna make a small loop and tie it down once more, this time on top. And this gives you a small loop out here, and this is a bit too big, so I'm gonna drag a little in this, drag this a little, so it's not gonna be as big. This is actually gonna be, well, the tails of the shrimp, because the tails is gonna be out in front. This one here. Good. I'm gonna do exactly the same one more time, only on the other side. Just refocus here, like so. And just leave this long part here that doesn't have a knot on it. Just leave it hanging there. You're gonna do exactly the same on the other side, with a matching leg. Make sure you tie it down first on the side of the hook eye, to get the correct effect with the loop here. Make sure both the loops are not approximately, but are the same size. That will look best on your fly. One of mine is a bit bigger than the other. Like that. Fasten everything like so. And then it's time to bring out the rib. Let everything rip. So I'm gonna take all the stuff I just tied down here as part of the carapace. Hold that together. And then I'm gonna, I'm missing a leg here, I can see. One of the large, long legs there. Like so. And then I'm gonna use the ribbing to force this down and keep it where I want it to be. Then I'm gonna carefully rib up between the legs here without disturbing or messing up anything. Like this, to ensure that this fly gets strong. Tying the rib down, and I'm cutting off some of the rib, but I'm leaving a fairly large amount of it, maybe a couple of centimeters. And the only reason I do that is is I've tried a lot of times to cut the rib completely off, and then something goes wrong, and you need to go back and stuff like that, and then you can't because the rib has been is not long enough, and oh, it's annoying, and you've come all this way, you're almost done with this incredible fly, and that's just, well, crap, you know. So do yourself a favor, leave that final part of the ribbing for later. So as you can see now, here is the longer legs. Oh, you probably can't see, but I'm going to show you. So I take these two long ones that is now part of the carapace. Hold these up, make sure that they're actually together. And I'm going to cut these off so they are about 1.5 centimeters, something like that, longer than the eyes. So they're going to be kind of part of the thorn here. You can see them, hopefully see them stick out here, there, like so. Then I'm going to take the circulating fiber. I'm going to cut this off so it is the correct length. Something like that. There, looks rather awesome. And well, now all there's left is actually to get out some of the dubbing here. But also to make the striations, make the markings on your fly, and for this you can use a prismatic marker. It has two ends. It has a very big end, which we're not going to use, and it has a small end, which we are going to use. And what you do is you take your legs and pull them up into the air, and the best way I find to do this is to actually pull this up and then make one part of the striation. I'm going to use black for this fly, but well, brown and tan is also very good. Very close to the carapace, and one on the middle. One and then paint the entire leg, as you can see, and then it's very crucial, if you want this fly to look as awesome as it can, that you have the striations here at the correct and same intervals. So you have, if you haven't done that, then this fly is not gonna look it's not gonna look as good as it could in your fly box in your vise when you want to post pictures of this challenge to your friends and stuff like that. So make sure that there is approximately the same distance between all of the markings you make on the legs. You see? On the front leg, if you've done that in the correct length, which is shorter than the other, you probably only have room for one striation, and then the knee. Like so. You just move around doing this carefully and meticulously. Take care with this. I know it it takes some time, but it's time well spent, because it will make your fly or break your fly, like so many other things on this pattern. Damn you, Colonel Anderson. For making such a cool fly pattern that I just had to do. And when you're done with this, you can, of course, because as you can see, the part of the legs here that is beneath the knee, as I said, is fairly long here, also too long, and I did that on purpose, because then later on when I need to cut this off, I could easily cut it off and have the correct length. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna make some striations here also. And these loops up here. You're probably gonna get black fingers from that, but hey, it's gonna look good. And then do some striations on the carapace, and of course on the two things here that is gonna be the thorns. And the easiest way to do that is actually to take your hackle plier, get these two, with your hackle plier, like so, and then do them all at once. That really looks awesome. And of course the longer legs here as well. Sounds like my kid is just awoke. Maybe I should check on him. He must wait. I'm making shrimps. I think you get the gist here. So cut the legs of the shrimp into the side length, and then finally I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it all. This is actually really been a truly stunning result. I'm very pleased with the result I present here. This is a very good one. The two I've done here tonight for the videos is without a doubt the two best I ever done. That's nice. This is difficult, and I've been thinking about doing this for a long time as a video, but I always just thought about it, and then I said I'm gonna do that another day. I'm gonna do that another day. I'm gonna do that another day, but. As you can see, probably can see here, but it's gonna be much more clear on the picture that was the intro of this video, is exactly how cool these these legs looks on this shrimp. And the eyes are just alive with intensity and glow. A nice product, that UV eyes from shrimp eyes. So I'm just gonna adjust this a bit so you can better see what I'm doing here on the underside, like that. Maybe even like that. So now it's time to pull out a lot of the dubbing here. You can't use your scissors. You can use your scissors, but that's very effective. But it's also a very risky game, because if you accidentally come in touch with the rib, you will pull out the rib and you will break it, and then the fly is, well, ruined. So just take your time. You have spent a lot of time on this fly, and do this right. Don't take too much at a time. Take the amount that is, take what is available and what is free and easy to pull out. Here. Get fibers, but not for any cost, you know. And carefully brush this fiber back. Take your fly out of the vise, use about half an hour to manipulate the legs so they're where you want them, and take the picture and put it in your box, and say, if anyone asks, oh, the legs are just messed up because I fished a lot with it. You know, that's the best excuse there ever is. As you can see there, here, as you can probably see here, there is 3 different lengths on the legs. And the length on the last leg is also longer. So I'm gonna do a finish. Gonna cut the legs into I'm gonna cut the lower part of the legs into the desired length, and then I'm gonna go find my camera. Thank you very much for watching this, and I hope this was useful. It's a very nice pattern, and well, anyone can learn a lot from making this. So well, thanks for tuning in, and remember, of course, to subscribe and find my web shop and all that stuff.